Get right in, right into this quickly. And as I bring my best bud to the table, Captain Drex is here, guys. What's going on, my bro? Is everything good?
What you say? What you say? What you say?
Chilling. It's been a mad one this weekend. You know what I mean? Some of the results have been shocking. Some of the results have been kind of like what we were talking about. You know?
Yeah.
Trilling stuff. So let's just bring it to the table one time. You know what I mean? Where do we start, guy? Where do we start, my bro? Where do we start?
Oh, we could start. We could start with the Bournemouth game. Then take it out on the Bournemouth game. Skip the Man City game. Then talk about the Man City right before the Brentford and United. Wrap it up.
All right, my word. Let's go. So as we get into the Bournemouth game, bro.
Yeah.
Bournemouth versus Sheffield, bro.
I got that one wrong because in my prediction in the preview game, I actually was hoping that I was hoping that Sheffield would do a magic or pull one up against Bournemouth, where it wasn't to be. Bournemouth at the end of the day took the game away from Sheffield. I think it was 3-0 at the 60th minute, if I'm not mistaken. It was 3-0. Yeah, at the 51st minute already, 51st minute was 3-0 already. So the goal for Sheffield United came at the 97 minutes via Mark Barney. It was more like of a consolation goal than anything. Actually, the game wasn't what I actually thought it was going to be, because I actually wanted not like I wanted. I just felt like Sheffield United had enough to put Bournemouth to the sword, more like a 2-1, 2-1-2 nil. Sorry, excuse me, 2-1-2 nil kind of game, right? But no, it wasn't to be. At the 12th minute, Bournemouth was 1-0 up already, just at the stroke of half time, which was I think at the 3rd minute of added time in the first half. Kluivert made it 2-0, and it was pretty much game over at that time, because I gave up. It was all Bournemouth at the end of the day. It was all Bournemouth. 55% possession, 23 attempts on goal, like 23 goal attempts, then with 11 on goal and 12 off goal, which was more like, yeah. So it was more like a one-sided affair for Bournemouth. Sheffield had the 45% ball possession, 10 goal attempts, 2 shots on target, 8 off. Free kicks, corner kicks, they had only 4. They had a lot of offside compared to Bournemouth. But all in all, like I said, after the second goal went in via Kluivert, it was pretty much game over.
Yeah, bro. And to be fair, when I looked at the game, I forgot Justin Kluivert played there. You know, his dad was really a big player for Barcelona and Juventus. Patrick Kluivert was epic for Holland. You know what I mean? And Justin hasn't been like, he hasn't been the star. He hasn't set the world really on fire yet, but he's a player that is exciting and he has a lot of talent. And I think Bournemouth is a good team for him because there's not too much pressure and he could just be himself. And we know he came into the league last season, but he had a few injuries and then new to the league, so the experience. And now
Mhm.
this season he's coming in and he's contributing to the team. I think it was pretty good. You know what I mean? I won't stay too long
Yeah.
because as I predicted that Bournemouth was going to
Yeah,
win this game.
you
I
were right.
thought
You said
Solanke would have been
Bournemouth.
the
Yeah.
main man.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
thought
mean? I thought
Solanke was
Solanke.
gonna be like you thought Solanke was gonna be, man. I wasn't too worried about Solanke, right? But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, you had this one. You were very confident Bournemouth was gonna take this win, and
Yeah, I was. I
kudos
was
on that
super
one.
confident in the Bournemouth because I watched them play a few games, quite a few games, and when I look at the way they play, they're a team that they're together. They string a lot of passes together. They create a lot of
True,
attacks. You know what I
true.
mean? And at the same time, when you look at everything, Bournemouth is not doing badly. You know what I mean?
No,
Last season they were
I actually was, yeah, in the preview game, in the preview show, I felt like I actually slept on Bournemouth because it was after the show I realized that Bournemouth actually did one over Newcastle, right? So they was going into this game with some sort of confidence and all of that, right? So but all in all, it was a good game. It was a good game for Bournemouth. Let me just, before we move on, let me just give a shout out to Kenny Fan TV. Kenny Fan TV saying big 3 point from the boys. Yeah, it was big 3 point for Kenny Fan TV. Is actually a Manchester United supporter, so he was really excited about the game at the end of the day. So which was a really good win for us United, right? Um,
yeah,
yeah, we gotta keep it
it
moving.
was a
Okay, that game. Everton's done. We have to look forward to the next one, which is a big one as well in the Champions League. At away at Galatasaray. So yeah, you're right, Kenny. We just have to keep it moving. Now, speaking of keeping it moving, let's go to the next game. I believe it was it should be the Brighton and yeah, the Brighton Nottingham
Brighton.
Forest. The
Yeah, yeah, it's
Nottingham
Brighton,
Forest.
not Nottingham Forest. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We got it right here. Let's get it to the
yeah.
stage, and you get everything there, so we could talk about. I'll let you go first again, my bro, because as you started it off, you thought you was like, not Forest.
Okay, it was
Usually
like,
win at home.
yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game for the neutrals. It was a good game for the neutrals. At the 3 minutes or into the game, Elanga got a goal. And it looked like, okay, it was gonna be like more of a win for call it of a win for Newcastle, for Nottingham Forest. Then Ansu Fati for Brighton picked up an injury. He left the pitch. I was like, okay, this could be in the favor of Nottingham Forest. 23rd minute, 26th minute, what's his name? Evans Ferguson came in, slide the ball on the the left hand side of the goalie, which was like the right hand side of the
Hmm.
player. Coiled one pass him, 1-1, game on. So I was thinking, okay, could there be like who's gonna get the next goal? It happened. It wasn't to play for Nottingham Forest. What's his name? Pedro. Joao Pedro. He
Yeah,
came in for. It was the one that replaced Ansu Fati when he went off injured. 49th minute. There's 4 minutes added on before at halftime. It was 2-1. I was like, whoa, what's happening here? Right? It wasn't as if Brentford. It wasn't as if Brighton weren't playing though, but they were. It wasn't. It just goes weren't against the run of play. But at that point in time, Nottingham Forest felt like they had the momentum in them to actually go to get the second goal. But a couple of missed chances from, I think, from Aina, the right back, the right back, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Elanga also had a chance which he didn't convert. So 2-1, they went into the half 2-1. Brighton was taking the lead. Came second half, yeah, it was more like it was more like a close game, but Brighton was already they already had the win in their favor, so they could as well just sit back and like absorb the pressure and just but it wasn't to be. At the 90, was he who was it that actually, I think Brighton had another injury Lamptey got got taken off. So that was two. Prior to, I should note that I should make this note that prior to that injury, Lamptey was more of a threat for Brighton, right? It was more of a threat. So when he got the injury, I was like, okay, could this be in the favor of Nottingham Forest? But no, it wasn't to be. It was the 58-minute Pedro did the third goal, and to me it was pretty much game over. It was pretty much game over until Lewis Dunk got the red card. I'm like, oh wait, hold up a second. Could there be a twist in the tail here, right? Not long. What's his name? Nottingham Forest. What's this guy's name?
Morgan
Morgan Gibbs White. Yeah, Morgan Gibbs White got a goal. I was like, oh, could this be an interesting turn of things towards the end of the game? Could there be like another goal and just to put the pressure on Brighton? But at the end of the day, it wasn't meant to be. Brighton had all 3 points.
Yeah. And before I start, I give a shout out to my aunt saying hi, great points, guys. Thanks for joining, auntie. You know how it is. I'm always here every time for the match reactions of the weekend. And I'll go on to say that I expected a Brighton win. Brighton to me has more firepower in their arsenal. They have a strong forward line, including that young Evan Ferguson got one of the early goals on the 26th minute to equalize. He was pretty good for me. You know what I mean? I could see why the Manchester United scouts and scouts across Europe are looking at him heavily, and why Brighton has slapped the 100 million price tag on his shoulders. And Antti Langa, he came from Manchester United academy product, plays for Sweden. He does really well. Very good goal from him. Very disappointed he didn't have a brace today. And I thought maybe, my prediction would have been wrong a third time this weekend, but it wasn't to be. I was going to be right again when, Jar Pedro came in and had the goal right at the end of, halftime, extra time. And then after he came back and doubled his and got his brace. It was a good game to me. It was close, tight. It was entertaining to watch. You know what I mean? But I think Brighton was always going to win. Even Not Forest was at home. I think they weren't doing enough. As you said, Lamptey was a big threat in that game. I think when he got off, when they got back into the game. So that was one of the things that happened for me. And, hats off to Brighton pulling out a 3-2 win. They closed up shop after they got the red card, 5 behind the back, and defended their way out to the finish line. So hats off to them. And let's not stay too long on this. And let's move on to the next item that's up for discussion. And I believe it's the game with Burnley and West Ham. And I also
that game, I think we had that game I think we had that game 2-1, right? 2-1 Brighton and all of that. And 2-1 West Ham, which ended up, I think I actually said, what did I say, 2-1, or I said 2-0? I can't remember, right? So but West Ham kept it late. They had to they kept it late. It was I think it was in the early in the second half. Burnley took the lead. Then West Ham had to pull one back at the 70. I think 77 minutes. Then 77 minutes, something like that. And at 1 second, let me just get that, because I was keeping a close eye on some of these games because I had an interest in some of them. Right? Yeah, I was right. Right after the second half, 49 minutes. Yeah, Burnley took the lead. Then it was, my bad. It was an own goal at the 86th minute, and Thomas Tuchel got the winner at the 91st minute. So so it was 1-0. I was saying as long as the game kept going with 1-0 in favor of Burnley, I was like, okay, could Burnley just pull off an offset here, right? But it wasn't to be. 86 minutes own goal, then the 91st minute the winner, and that was it. There's really not much to talk about in that game per se.
True. Like, for me, like I predicted a West Ham smashing. I thought West Ham was going to do the business. I said 3-1, with a brace from Bowen and maybe a goal from one of the other players like Ollie Watkins or something.
Yeah.
No, my bad, not Watkins. Like Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah, I know you said Bowen. I know you said you had Bowen to get you a brace in that game.
Yeah, but it wasn't to be. It was a much closer encounter. When I peeped some of the highlights of the game, because I was watching another game which was playing the same time, And when Jay Rodriguez scored that penalty, I was like, oh, another one of my predictions is looking shaky today. And then the own goal was coming, to be fair, because West Ham in that time, after those last 20 minutes, they were pressing, and it was bound to come. It came, and then Suchek with the winner at the end. I was like, whoa! I was like, yes. To be fair, so it was, all in all, it was a good game, and I think the fans, as a neutral, the fans were entertained really well, and everyone could say it wasn't like a poor fixture where it was like dross or everyone was like, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
let's keep it moving really quickly. We'll go right along, what I mean, on to the Luton game. And I think the Luton game, you know, was
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much to all
The
our
looting
predictions, because
game.
we
The
all said
looting
that
game.
Crystal Palace was going to get down,
Yeah.
you know. And
Yeah. We all
Tellen
said Luton
Mengi,
was
former
gonna peep
United
them.
player, getting on the score sheet with, with the opening goal. It's very good for him. I'm happy, for a young defender. You know what I mean? I think he
Mm-hmm.
also is going to be representing DR Congo, I believe, along with Wan Bissaka if he so chooses. So yeah, what I mean, for Luton Town, no one thinks they're going to win any games this season. They drew with Liverpool.
No,
You know what
no
I
one
mean?
thinks,
Good
but
for the
remember
heart.
we said they were gonna get the win.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I'm just mentioning before we said that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we all
Yeah.
agreed,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
started off saying, that we all agreed that, Luton was going to do the business over Crystal Palace, because they lack Ezzy, they lack, this the other winger who plays Olise. And then, they don't really have that
Yeah.
firepower up front that gives you that confidence. But I see Michael Olise played. So, you know what I mean? We thought he wasn't going to be there, and he was one of the difference makers, because, as you can see, he gave them an equalizer, before
Mm-hmm.
Brown came in and did the business for Burnley, for Luton, and scored their second goal that took them home on the 83rd minute, 10 minutes after the
Mm-hmm.
equalizer. So I think all in
Mm-hmm.
all, it was a decent fixture. I don't know if you got a chance to see the highlights, but this game was decent. It was close fought. It didn't look too scrappy, though, as normally you would think, because it's Luton and
Olise,
Crystal Palace.
Olise
But
had one. Olise had one coil of a goal, man. Pick up the
hmm,
ball on the right wing, went down the line, cut in, let it out of his left foot, bam, back at the net.
yeah, it good. He's a very talented player. I could see why Chelsea wants to get him.
But I
I'm
think
not sure I'm gonna be
he
so.
penned a long-term contract with Crystal Palace already, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's good for him, though. For me, right?
Yeah.
Like, all these players going to all these clubs. For me, I
Mm-hmm.
always look at young players when they go to a club. Are they gonna get starting game time?
Positions,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, going to a big club is good and all of that, but how does it affect your development as a player? Because if Ronaldo, let's just say, in this day and age, had came to Manchester United and wasn't getting starts, you know what I mean? Would he develop into Ronaldo? You know what I mean? So when you go to a club like Chelsea and you're not getting starts, or Man City and you're not starting every game. I mean, look at Phil Foden. Like, for the last 4 seasons, he has more trophies than any player his age, and we still wondering where is his ceiling, what he's gonna be. You know what I mean? When is he gonna cement his spot in that team? And this season he's getting a lot of game time due to the absence of Kevin De Bruyne. So hopefully this season he does it. If not, I think he should leave. Because it's not helping his career anymore. You know what I mean? He's done it there. He's a bit part player in my opinion there. And for a young player with all that talent, he should be the star of a team, playing week in, week out, winning, losing, drawing with teammates. You know what I mean? Even if it's at a lesser club.
Yep. Yep.
So let's
I,
move
I I
along.
totally agree with you, yeah.
Yeah. And let me just move it along really quickly, bro. And let's get it on, because we got a few bigger predictions to talk about, which is gonna take us some more time. You know what I mean? A few
Mm-hmm.
ones that we were like, oh, this is gonna be like this, and then it turned out
You
to be a
just
lot
put up
different.
the whole game on the screen now. We just talk about them, touch them briefly, the ones we've not talked about, and then we dwell on the Man City and the United game as well.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna jump. I'm gonna jump to the Brentford Arsenal game really quickly,
Oh
because
yeah, oh yeah,
at the end
that's
of
good.
the day, we have to mention that. And It's a disappointing score for me because I predicted Brentford would have stung Arsenal. Maybe a
I was
one
I was
a
I
one
was
nil
more I
or a
was
two
more of
one.
no I was more of a 2-2 game. I thought it was going to be a high scoring game. Apparently, it was not. They had to depend on Kai Havertz, who actually came off the bench to get the winner for them. So yeah, at the end of the day, I felt like Brentford where they are the master of their own downfall. They didn't keep their defensive discipline up until the 90. They just want, like they always do it. It's something even against United. They had the game up until what, then the 90th minute, and they just lost their defensive discipline. So
Hmm.
I think it's one of their weakness, which they must have to work on that. But other than that,
Yeah.
it wasn't one of those games you said, oh, Arsenal didn't deserve to win. Arsenal, they deserved to win. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, hard fought victory. Hard to say the Gooners did well to win a game, but at the end they win the game, and you got to give your
Yeah,
hats off to them.
look at the shots on target, right? You could see Brentford had three, Arsenal had four. If Brentford all Brentford needed to do was take one, be clinical with one of the chances, the shots on target. Just be clinical with, they had nine
Hmm.
shots all together with three on target, right? Arsenal had 15 with four on target. All you just needed to do is take one, right? But this
Hmm.
game, I'm not too if you had ended the draw, yeah. But yeah, there's no big force in that Arsenal taking that game, right?
This is the one I was most excited to talk about. You know why? Because I've been hearing
Right.
so much slander on my manager's name and so much praises for this manager coming up next. And you know what? We're right behind them. And we're above the other one. So, guys, take a look. Let's all take a hearty laugh at the Spurs. Just being Spursy. Tottenham again.
This game,
All over again.
this game,
Sliding
this
all the way
game,
down, bro.
this game is. It was. I was getting frustrated at the way Son wouldn't just hold his line. He kept moving. You're faster than the defender, right? Why about you just hold your line a little bit, hold your run, hold it a little bit, 1 second later, and you would be on side. But it wasn't supposed to be. I didn't think Villa did enough, like did exceptionally well to get the win. Spurs had most of the game in the first half. They had chances to put this game beyond Villa, but um like I said, if you don't take your chances, you end up having the sorry face, right? So yeah, it is what it is. I didn't expect them to lose. Like I said in the preview to this game, I didn't expect them to lose. I felt like they wouldn't just lose three on the bounce, right? At least get a draw. But it wasn't to be. Kudos to Aston Villa for sticking with their game plan and getting the goal. That's all I could say. That's all I could say. It wasn't as if yeah, but I still don't understand why. But one thing I noticed in the game was in the first half, both of them were playing a super high line. It's like both defense line was right next to the center circle, right? So I didn't know how. I
Hmm.
don't know why that was what was the case, but that was, I think that if that's why I said, if Son is fast, if he had watched the trap properly, he may have gotten 2 goals today, but he didn't. So it is what it is. I hope for the neutral sake, I hope Hanj plays the same highline against a club like what's his name, um Man City, and would see. I believe even if we get to in the reverse leg with United, we would do, and he does that highline, we would exploit it. But that being said, another L for Spurs. It's not looking good for Ange.
It's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all, my bro. Like, I've been saying this for a few weeks because I consume a lot of football, and I sit down, I watch the game sometimes when I'm in my spare time, and I watch Spurs, and I'm not hating on Spurs or anything. Like I dislike them genuinely as any fan of a rival team would dislike them. They're considered a top six team. I'm one of the top six. I think I'm the most elite, but I'm not at the top at the moment. So, hats off to the players at the top, MCFC. And, the Spurs team, I think they're a team that they got the right manager in their choices when they made this choice this season. I think they had a lot of players who were more suited to an expansive type of football, but they didn't have that with Conte. So they were on the fringes last season. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when they switch this manager now, if you notice, all of the starters last season, nine of them are on the, or seven of them are not there anymore. One is left, and the other six are on the fringes now. So
Yeah.
when I look at that, I say to myself, you know what? This team and this manager are both lucky. They found each other. You know what I mean? I don't expect them to be in a rut all season. I think when their players come back, like James Madison, when they get back Romero, when they get back Udoji, and they have a fit Van der Ven, I think they will be a force to be reckoned with come January,
True.
maybe in
True.
February. But at the same time, the world is not going to wait on them, and they're going to have to make decisions in January if they have to get new players or whatever. But in a way, they're at the same stages of most of the clubs in the top six this season, who are all in a rebuild. You know what I mean? But the difference with their rebuild, they're kind of halfway through because they already had players that the manager wants that fit their system. They brought
True.
in one or two players that also jumped in and are fitting the system. So they need to get rid of the players who they don't want and get players in who they do want. Just like Manchester United, the only thing is I think we have a lot more players that need to go or change, whether it's old guard for new guard, for youth players coming up from the academy, or we bring in free players or returning players from loans. You know what I mean, to supplement our problem. But I think
Yeah.
our trajectory has been up. Their trajectory has kind of been fluctuating right now because of the injuries and the red cards they've received. And yes, in a way, it's been hard done for them because they've been playing well at the start of the season. But at the same time, they also got a few controversial decisions in their direction that also saw them win a few games. So I think, in a way, it's just how football is. And I expected them to lose today. I thought Aston Villa were always going to be the better team because I've been watching them play, and they're one of the other teams in form besides Manchester United. And they have a striker who has been red hot. He has scored two hat tricks this season. His name is Ollie Watkins. And even though I don't want to see him at Manchester United, I think the young man has deserved a little bit of flowers for his consistency in goals and getting goals for his team. And Par Torres, the big man in the back, like he has been sensational for them. He's been instrumental. And, he leads their back line if you look at it from the
Yeah.
perspective I do.
Yeah.
And getting that goal, his first goal for the club, that's big. You know what I mean? That spurs on players. And I think we have to face them soon. And it's going to be a race. I think the race is between Aston Villa, us, and Newcastle for top four. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Tottenham is going to be there. I really and truly feel like Tottenham is going to be either sitting in fifth or battling with whoever is below for sixth place. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be
But
them and Chelsea, in my opinion.
yeah, it's too early to actually draw those permutation right now, but we just have to wait and see what January brings, because now it's the business. Now, like I said, like for me, it's the, how they say April, May is the business end of the season, right? For me, I
Hmm.
feel like between now and the new year, right? It's the half
Hmm.
of the season, so it's also a business end. If you know what I mean, if you want to take it, look at it from that context, right? So it's more like towards getting towards the half of the season, and it's also a very very important time. So you have to pick up points as much as you can to put you in good standing come the new year, because once it's January, everybody but those fighting relegation and those yeah, everybody's it's up and about, right? Trying to get the points in the bag, and there'll be no more. You think there are easy games now? Man, no. Come that time, you won't see much easy games anymore, because everybody's trying to dot their I's and cross the T and see how they could survive for those fighting relegation, and for those looking to go into Europe. Everybody's looking out to fight and get a place in Europe or stay alive in the league. So So it's very too early to actually draw them permutations and just leave it and just see one game at a time. Spurs to my take to Spurs fan is you just have to take it one game at a time. You got lots of injuries. Just hope for the best because it's not looking good, bro. It's not looking good. 3 losses in a row. It's not looking good, bro.
It's not looking good, bro. And we move along, and bro, I have to say, I love when I get my predictions right. And I wish Chelsea Dan was here tonight. Chelsea Dan, bro, I sent you the email. I know I forgot to send it earlier, but bro, you're always online, man. You should be in here defending your team. You're always in our streams talking about us, talking about Manchester United, talking about how much better Chelsea is, but you're still sitting behind us by even more points right now, and you just got drubbed up by Newcastle, worse than we lost to Newcastle, and we lost in the Carabao Cup, bro. We still haven't met in the Premier League. We're meeting soon, though, and when we do meet them, trust me, it's not gonna look that bad. So let's get into this game. I thought it was a hard fought game. I thought Chelsea looked really good in the early. You know what I mean? When they got the equalizer right away, it almost seemed like I blinked and they scored an equalizer, from a free kick,
Beautiful,
Raheem Sterling.
beautiful free kick.
Hmm?
Let's not take that away. It
Beautiful
was a
free kick,
beautiful
yeah,
free kick from Ryan Sterling. Yeah.
100%, bro. Like I was like in shock. I was like, because
It's been a
I
while we've
predicted
seen
the
something like
Newcastle
that,
win. Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that on our team, from one of our players,
Hmm.
bro. Like I think Dallo scored a goal, something esque of it. I would say it was a better goal in my opinion because it's Dallo and the way he scored it in the run during the run of play. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that you can't take anything away from that goal that Raheem Sterling scored. It was amazing. You know what I mean? I think Alexander Isak showed why Newcastle was missing him in their lineup for the last few weeks. I think he always provides that spark and he's very, very clinical in front of goal. You know what I mean? Like, I did not expect the performance of that youngster. I forget his name. He was, 17 years old? Wow. What's his name?
Which one?
Jamal, the
Okay.
youngster who came on and played in the midfield in place of Bruno Guimaraes, who's in
What's this? Bruno Guimaraes didn't play that game. I think he did. He didn't play that.
Miley,
Yeah.
young
Okay.
Miley,
Miley. Yeah.
17 years old. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes played, but he plays on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, what's his name, plays in the middle,
In the middle.
Tonali,
Yeah.
so
With Tonali. Yeah. So
that's what I'm
he's
saying. So
more of
my and they
yeah.
brought on this 17-year-old guy, and he bossed that middle. He bossed it crazy. You know what I mean? Hats off to him. Congratulations to the young Leon Miley. You did really, really well. You know what I mean? It was a joy
Yeah.
to watch you play. You know what I mean? I have something to say about that later on. But hats off to Newcastle and Eddie Howe. Their coaching has been doing really well for this team, and they've been playing really good football. I think the game was exactly how I thought it would be, physical. And I always said that Chelsea's a very good team, but they're young, inexperienced, and they're not physically ready to play physical teams who are also very attacking. You know what I mean? A low block team is one thing, but when you're playing a team that plays a mid block and they're very physical and they go forward, they get forward, it's going to be very, very tough. You know what I mean? And these youngsters haven't faced that kind of competition yet. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good learning curve for the Chelsea team. I think they've given a decent account for themselves because, as you could see, they were fighting throughout the whole game. They had lots of chances, 7 shots, 4 on target. That's pretty good in terms of they have more shots on target than shots missed. You know what I mean? That 40% possession, which is not 100% bad. You know what I mean? Newcastle had double the shots, but they only had 5 on target. You know what I mean? So they were more
Yeah.
wasteful than Chelsea.
And
But at
Chelsea.
the
Yeah.
end, they just were a little bit more physical. They got to the second balls a little bit faster
No,
than
and
Chelsea players. And
let's not forget that even at 2-1, Chelsea still had. I feel like Chelsea still would still have got a goal, right? But once
mhm,
what's his name, Thiago Silva made that blunder and gave that gift away at the 61st minute, it was game over for Chelsea. They didn't
yeah,
they didn't look like
the
they were
game
coming
was
back
over
from there.
with
They
that
just
mistake.
yeah, there was that mistake just killed the game and just took away the sting from Chelsea. So um that's why I said it's not people, you look at the game and you be like, okay, wow, man, maybe the red card played a role in the goals and all of that. No, it wasn't to be, right? Because it was the third goal. The minute that third goal went in from Joe Linton, that was pretty much game over. There was nothing Chelsea could have done at that time. It was pretty much game over. Just the red card, which in my opinion was a very stupid foul to give away. No, bearing in mind you already have a yellow card already, so Rhys James had the control of the ball. I don't know what he did, and he put the ball right behind him. Then Gordon tried to get hold of the ball and he fouled Gordon, which was it's a yellow card any day, anytime. So yeah, for me it was something that he would have just avoided, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Joe Linton got into the head of Rhys James because during the first half, himself and Joe Linton were having it back and forth. So I think he was trying to prove a point, or he was try. I just felt like he became too involved. Like he got emotionally involved in it. So yeah, that's my own take. Big up Luan, big up Luan. Thanks for pulling up.
big up to Luan. Luan, you came in just in time for the biggest two sections of the show. We're about to go in and talk about the Man City game really shortly, and then we're gonna go straight into the Manchester game. I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to be here for that, so we don't, you know, go too hard on your boy Marcus Rashford. Yeah,
Just so you know, Luan
and
was Marcus Rashford's number one fan. Just so you know, in case you're just
6
pulling up,
likes,
just know
guys.
Luan is
Come on,
Luan
guys.
does champion the Marcus Rashford fan.
Yeah, truly, truly.
Let's see what the City game and the Liverpool game has to like. I felt like
What happened there? While we wait for Drex to come back, guys, take this time to like and subscribe.
Audio Mark X
okay.
And Drex is back.
So like I
And
said, I
we
felt
are
like the the Man City game. It was a good game for the neutrals. It was a good game for the neutrals. I see a lot of people say Man City was robbed. I'm gonna let you take this. I'm gonna let you start with this one because I see a lot of people say Man City was robbed. But I don't know where it happened from. So you go ahead, take the lead on this
I
one.
gotta say it, bro. They were robbed. Like I watched the game. There was no other game on, so I watched the early game.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to see Liverpool lose. Anyone is good once they're not scouse. You know what I'm saying? Because with
Mm-hmm.
Man United, bro, like we got a rivalry with both of them. One is our city rivals, but the other one is our league rivals. And to be honest, I'd rather our city rivals win because then Manchester is the best place for football in England anyway. You know what I mean? So
I know
I'll
what you
just get
mean.
right into it. I think Man City played a very good game. They were expressive. They let Liverpool have the ball, but also Liverpool, they attacked really well, and they didn't really do that well on defense. I think their biggest strength is their goalkeeper, and he did really well, but he looked really, really shaken
He
after the
was
first
really
goal.
I don't
And
know what was happening. He was really rattled yesterday, man. It was a heady.
rattled.
No,
I never saw Allison look like that. He looked
like
like a
that. I have
rabbit in the
never.
headlights.
Bro, I have never seen Allison like that. It felt like something was going on internally. Like, you know, it's very
Exactly.
hard to say. You know
And then he
how
drops the
you
ball. He
yeah, he
drops the
keep
ball,
giving
Drex.
the
He
ball
literally
away.
drops.
Yeah,
You can see, I've watched it like 4 or 5 times. He drops the ball, completely drops the ball. And guess what happens? He then goes to protest to the referee after the goal scores.
like I honestly I don't know what was going on yesterday. It felt like one of those situations where immediately got into the pitch, right? He got on the pitch. He felt like he was pressed, like someone that needed to use the bathroom but couldn't wait, couldn't wait for. So he had to just suck it up and just move because in what I have never seen him make so much blunders in 45 minutes like he did yesterday. And thankfully he wasn't punished on two occasions. He wasn't punished. So yeah, I don't know what was happening yesterday, but good, glad he was able to. He didn't get punished as I would want him to. Like,
Manchester City had 16 shots, Drek. 16. You know what I mean?
I
16.
know.
Like, bro, like that's a lot. That's more than they had at United. They had 15
Hmm.
shots against United or 14 shots against United. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that shows that the Liverpool defense has been leaking, you know. But hats off to them; they have a really good keeper that stopped all the shots. You know what I mean? That came. They
true,
you know
true,
they
true.
lost. They didn't dominate possession. Man City had possession. You know what I mean? Man City had 614 passes. So you can see Man City really had their way at home as they should,
Yeah.
as I expected. I thought Man City would have won the game, maybe 2-1. You know, some people thought maybe 3-1. But what happened is
What
after
did
they
you?
disallowed that goal, they
Yeah,
was
what did
just,
you
you
make
know,
of
the
that
game was
disallowed
dead.
goal? Because people tend to say, if they had allowed the Newcastle goal against Arsenal to stand for Joelinton putting his two hands at the back of Gabriel, then they should have allowed that one to stand. The one that I think Akanji was putting a little bit of pressure. I have to go back and
I
look at
mean,
it
but it's
again.
normal because, like, if you look at all in our game to if we look at other games in the league, you would see
Hmm.
sometimes when there's a corner, there are players really close to the
Put
goalkeeper,
pressure
and
on
the
the
goalkeeper
goalkeeper
has to muscle his way through. It's normal. It's part of the game. Like, since when has football not been a full contact sport? This is not basketball, so you know what I
because I
mean. I
remember
think it's
I
sudden
remember
to get it.
last season or a season before last, something like that happened at Everton where De Gea was I wouldn't use the word bully, but he was charged and he was pushed down. The Everton scored from the corner kick and the goal was stood. So I don't know. I don't know. But yet again, it feels like they change the rule every other day. Like they change the rule. If you're gonna be saying both hands on Gabriel wasn't a foul, it wasn't much of a foul to make him go down. Then why do this? Why just don't? So
Yeah.
it like some of these games, like in my opinion, some of these games are just been set in stone. Like you just have to those fine margins. They have to actually work on it. Like, you need to work on those fine margins because it's taken the joy of the sport we love so much. It feels like um a lot of inconsistency when it comes to their refereeing decisions and all of that, right? But
Mhm.
that being said, it was a good game for the neutrals. Nobody won. They shared the sport, the points. Everybody go on on the drawing board, see where they made a mistake, and work on it.
Yeah, I think so too. I totally agree. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I bro, I have to say, this goal, right? This goal was epic, epic, epic. This goal that Ganacho scored was amazing. I have to say, like, that's all I could keep saying right now in my head when I think about it.
It was
When I
a,
think about
it
him
was a, it
inverting
was a good
himself the way
goal.
he did, and I'm gonna
It
show you
was a,
guys right now what I'm talking about. Like, you gotta see, you had to see it. If you didn't see it, you didn't see it. But you
in
have
real
to.
time.
You must.
It was a good goal. It was one of those. Immediately I saw the goal, I was like, whoa. The first thing that came in my head, like, yo, this is some Rooney vibes, some Rooney vibes. Like the
Take a look at this
audacity to
goal,
actually do
guys.
that, right? The
I
audacity
just
to
want you
do
guys
that.
to just take a look at this angle. From this angle, this young man scored that goal.
And you know how sweet the
Unbelievable.
goal was? The ball actually looped over the goalkeeper. Like, yo, man. And like what Owen Agrive said, you don't do this on the training pitch. You don't do this in practice. It's one of those things you just have to improvise right there in front of the wall. You just have to improvise and just pull off something like this. We've seen the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. We've seen the likes of Ibrahimovic, the likes of what's his name. Even Benteke had one of this some sort of goal against us while he was at Liverpool. So it's not something that you practice every day. It's something that it just happened. You just have to think very fast and just make something happen, which was a beauty to behold. Was a beauty to behold, man.
And Drex, we were live. I was live doing the watch along with Botswana, Poppy, and Jarvis when this goal scored, and we were talking, and I just happened to look at the screen, and when I looked, they were still talking, and I was watching the goals happen, and I was like, "Oh my god!" But I forgot I was 30 seconds ahead of their stream. So I kind of rooted for them in a way, not really, because you can't unsee that goal, so they didn't get to see
No,
it.
you
So when I
can't.
celebrated it, they were like, "What?" But then when they saw it, they were like, "Oh!" Poppy was shook for like 5 minutes. He couldn't speak. It was a great goal, guys, and United. I can't say United dominated the entire game because
No,
we
of course
started
not.
off really quickly with that goal on the third
Yeah.
minute, and then after that, we were really, really, really. We were really, really poor for like 20 minutes. And Everton almost got back into the game. You know what I mean? They had a few shots on goal. You know what I mean? 6 shots on target, 24 shots in all. Most of the shots were high, wide, and handsome and not at all threatening. You know what I mean? So the ones that were on target, one of them hit the post, and that was to the end. But, Onana was big today. Big, big, big. The big
Onana was
man
big.
had some big,
Onana was
powerful
big.
hands, had
There
some
was
good
one. There was one.
reactions.
He made a save, a reaction save, right? Where he used not the one he had to stretch out. The one he had to use his hand to like take the ball off the path of that attacker, right?
Mhm.
Towards the end of the game. That one for me was among one of the saves he made today, because if that had gone in, then momentum would have definitely swung in Everton's favor, and we know how it is when we let it go in and everybody is rattled, So big up Onana, big up Onana, big up Kebumenu for. Did you see that goal line clearance? In my head, I was like, holy. This kid was
Yo,
everywhere. It was blocking crosses from the left. It was blocking crosses from the right. It was bossing the midfield. It was giving them the shoulder. Just a little drop of the shoulder. 2 players were already off him. Like, I'm like, yo, cool, calm. Like, he was actually pointing to McTominay where to position himself in terms of go receive the ball. I've taken your space. You go receive the ball, right? And it's something to just beauty to behold. Like, he actually could take the ball and run with the ball. He could carry the ball and he knows how to even dribble. I'm like, yo, man. And to think that this guy has never played with this team, like in terms of appearance in the Premier League and the Champions League. I'm not withstanding they do training together with the first team. I'm saying now in front of the world, right? He hasn't really been doing it. To just come in, first full debut, and he did what he did today, bro, man. Hats off to that boy. Hats off. He's some player. I just hope that his developmental trajectory just keeps going up. It doesn't. The injuries won't get way down. Now with the performance he put in today, I don't think he will be feeling so bad about the injury anymore. He would just be like, okay, you know what? Got injured, came back. I put in this performance. They like it. My coach like it. I'm gonna build on that. That's how I want him to feel, man. It was exceptional today. In my opinion, he was the man of the match, because, like, according to what Gary Neville said, he said an 18-year-old kid looked the more experienced player amongst everybody in the pitch today. And
bro,
yo, man, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him pair more with an Amrabat as to a McTominay. I don't know what you think about. What's your take on that one?
man, you want to see him instead of McTominay?
No. I would love to see him pair with maybe a Casemiro or an Amrabat as to pairing with the McTominay in the middle. So more like a Bruno, Maino, and Amrabat. Yeah, let me know what you think, Luan. Those in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the midfield with Maino, because I feel like Amrabat is gonna give him more protection compared to what McTominay does. I'm not. This is no me slagging off McTominay. McTominay did his job today. He was there. He puts his foot in. He puts his tackle in. He was after that initial scare where I thought he was going to get a yellow card. He actually calmed down and played the game the way we wanted him to play. But that being said,
And just so everyone knows,
Mhm.
just so everyone knows who we are talking about so much and so kindly.
Oh yeah,
It's this young lad right here. He's 18
Oh,
years old.
boy.
His name is Kobe Mainu. He's been exceptional. And I'm one of those people who have been saying since the first game that, even though it's preseason, you can see the distress in the manager's reaction, in his whole body language when this young fella was injured against Real Madrid. And in my
Mhm.
honest opinion, he was injured against Real Madrid in preseason. Man United lost their start of the season that was initially planned. Further loss after we lost Mason Greenwood because of infestation, but inaccurate reasons and stuff like that. But at the same time, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It was a joy to actually be here today. Like, man, for me now, I want to see how Ten Hag is gonna like integrate him or use him going forward. I wish he doesn't. I wish him all the best. I don't wish no injury on him. I wish him um like maybe let me use the word progressive um fitness, progressive what's my call it, recovery, because games like this, right, games like this, you'd have to appreciate it why they play, and also hope that things go their way, because in football you never can tell. But I just hope, and I can't wait for me to see himself and Casemiro in the middle of the park and
Yeah,
see
I think
what kind of game, or in the dynamic of our game, how it would turn out to be. I feel like
I
this
also
guy would help. Sorry, let me just make. I feel like this guy is gonna help Hoyland as well. He gets everybody involved in the game some sort of way. He gets everybody involved. I just can't wait. Maybe I'm just trying to control my excitement. I just can't wait to see
Well, I was
to see
about to say
how.
something similar because I was about to say that the way Kobe Menu plays, I was on MUFC Realist TV earlier, and I totally agree with Jarvis saying he would love to see him play next to Amrabat, and I also agree with that because I think that he's gonna make it easy for Amrabat to do what he does in the midfield next to him. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm,
he's so mobile, because he's so capable, because his play is so
mhm,
mature. You know what I
mhm.
mean? So I think Kobe Manu not only allows for our midfield to be more expansive, it allows for our midfield to change and evolve. You know what
True,
I mean? Because we
true.
can go from Amrabat, who's more defensive, to Casemiro, who's
Yeah,
more box to box, with
yeah,
Kobe there. You know what I mean? And we could even go to a Medjugorje,
yeah,
if you know what I mean.
yeah. I
That
know.
brings more attack depending on the game we're in, the
On the
time,
game we're
and
playing,
those
yeah,
kind of things. You know what I mean? And even
yeah.
Scott McTominay, because eventually he would. If you look at Scott McTominay today, he didn't have a great game, but with Kobe Manu there, he looked better than he normally would have looked.
Yeah, that was why I was gonna say that. Like, that's why I said I'm not bashing McTominay in no way, shape, or form. I just feel like maybe with an Amrabat there, or a Casemiro, because we all know McTominay's limitation, right? So we all know McTominay's limitation. So if we have somebody in the likes of Amrabat or Casemiro, right? I feel like, yeah, that would give the young Maino some sort of freedom to express himself in a way we would appreciate him even more, if you know what I mean. Like, if you have, imagine you, young kid, have a Casemiro, you're playing with a Casemiro who is being one of the greatest defensive midfielder in the game, right? You'd have that confidence knowing that whatever you do, you've got somebody to back you. You know what I mean? You have that confidence of somebody. What's the word now? Somebody. So when somebody teaching you, even in the game, even while the game is on, somebody of that quality, of that experience, with those experience, right, telling you, okay, I know you did it this way, but next time do it like this. Right in the game. And Kobe Mino is one who I believe would take to those instructions while the game is going on, right, to know, okay, where to position myself next time. Or let's say Casemiro is going to go and play more advanced. Casemiro tells him, okay, I'm going this way, you do this, you do that. So just that's how you bet this guy in. That's because, like I said, we know the limitations of McTominay, right? For me, McTominay is a good box to box. You put McTominay, let him stay right in front of the semicircle, right in front of the 18-yard, right? And I guarantee you, McTominay, 3 games, it will give you 2 goals out of 3 games. It would give you a goal in maybe 2 over 3. He's that. So I'm not. So that's for me. McTominay's strength is right around the 18-yard, not more of in the midfield, right? Because he doesn't know when to come collect the ball. He doesn't know when to show for the ball, right? He takes too many touches before he let go of the ball. If you see Meno today, it was more like get the ball, pump, go, get the ball, move. Like drops the shoulder, fades one guy off, advances with the ball. You know what I mean? So uh for me, I would prefer to see a more experienced defensive minded midfielder alongside Kobe Mino, so we could actually see more of a development for him. That way he could learn, not just from gaining experience in terms of play time, but also the people that he's playing with, gaining experience, learning a thing or two from them to add to his game. You know what I mean? So yeah, and the more the games he get, the more the better, because he gets to see oppositions and gets to know how the oppositions or like different midfielders play. Then he could actually take that on. So it is like, for me, this guy is just a stepping stone for him, bro.
Yeah,
We
it's
all we
it's
all
it's
we
it's
all
new.
loud. Yeah, go ahead.
It's new, and you know what I mean. He's new. He's coming into the squad. We all want to see what he's capable of, what he's gonna do, where he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
end up, and it's gonna be exciting. And I think we should all look forward to him. Not put all the hype on him really too much. You know what I mean? But we need to protect him like a rare gold. You know what I mean? And just keep him safe and let him do his thing, develop. He's gonna have a good game. He's gonna have a bad game. We just need to be there for him. You know what I mean? And I think as he develops, it'll allow a team a lot more stability in the middle. You know what I mean? I think Bruno playing ahead of him is very, very good, or playing with him is very good, because Bruno is a very, very intelligent footballer. And I think that's going to help in his development. And I don't know if anyone might agree with me, but I think in January, getting Rabiot might be a much more positive situation than a lot of people might think. Because I
Yeah,
think
but if
Rabiot,
you get
when I was, before I finish, before you
Tomlin, the
jump
likes
in,
of, huh?
I just think that Rabiot is going to bring is that experience of a actual box to box and a sort of DM hybrid player that
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Manu could learn from. You know what I mean? And he could all
Yeah.
actively replace Kobe Manu because he plays a similar position to what Kobe plays.
So you what you're saying in essence is get Rabio on and share the game time with Kobe.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And you could even play
Yeah,
them
for
together
more
because
of,
Rabiot plays
yeah, more,
plays
they could
either
play
side
together, more
of the
experience.
midfield.
Yeah, more experience at it.
Yeah,
But my take is it wouldn't that I would love to hear what Luan has to say. Wouldn't that stunt the growth of Kobe, knowing fully well we have a Casemiro that's going to be coming back? Except are you selling Casemiro off? Are you going to
yeah. Well,
what would?
I'm just thinking going forward next year or two.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
thinking
okay, okay.
Casemiro may or may not be here after the summer. You know what I mean? Same thing with
Yeah,
Varane.
going.
You
Oh,
know what
yeah.
I mean? So I'm just thinking,
If you say next summer, I am coming. Now I'm getting you, but wouldn't that mean next summer Rabio will be what, 2028,
yeah,
27?
but Rabiot's not coming in to be a mainstay. He's coming in to be a rotation player that's going to play a few games.
But
Probably just be there to give experience to players that we have in midfield. That I think Medjbury could learn a lot from him, and Hannah and Kobe. You know what I mean? And there's other midfielders coming through, like Dan Gore Jr. He's very, very good as well. I think he could learn something from Rabiot. Rabiot is a very good player. He's technically gifted. You know, he has experience. He knows how to defend. He knows how to hold the
Yeah.
midfield. He knows to attack going forward. You know, he won a World Cup with France. You know what I mean? So he's a very experienced player. So, you know, and Luan was saying that goal, bro. That goal, bro. And like I know we're gonna wind down and close the show. You know, we already had an hour.
Right now,
I,
right. I haven't. You know how you save, and something in my house, right? Sometimes I just save when my growing up when my mom used to make some good dishes like this, right? I save mine when everybody's at theirs. I save mine for my time, like to actually maybe get a movie and just chill and eat that. I actually saved this game for today. I'm saving it for when everybody's going to sleep. It's gonna be my quote unquote next week Netflix and chill. I just so I'm not. And that's why I'm just when you guys are talking about the goal, I don't want to be too. I'm actually pretending as if I haven't seen it. So when I see it again, maybe in the middle of the night, I might scream. I'm like, yes. But that goal, man, yo, man, I was opportune to see Rooney do it. I was opportune to see Ronaldo do it. Even like I said, Benteke for Liverpool against United, I saw him do it. Now to see a young Ghana should do it. Oh man, it just goes to show that this game will never die. We never die, no matter what. It will never die.
always.
We all love football. We all love football. Like
100%.
things like this just makes me happy in terms of creativity. You just don't just pull up something. Just pull up something. It's not something you rehearse. It's just something that I could do it. Let me do it. Boom. That's it. That's what the great CR7 does. He just improvise. If you remember the game against if you remember the game against Tottenham the season before the last season, it was the goal where
the hat-trick he scored.
Where Ferdinand put the ball in one time. Boom. Like, yo, those are the kind of goals I actually I know people say, okay, put the strings of play together, make a beautiful team goal. I love team goal. Like you see the Martial goal on the transition from Pelestri to Bruno, then back to Martial. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Just go, easy goal. But you see goals like this one, man. You see, we're talking about this. We're talking about this goal, right? We haven't, we haven't mentioned that, the play that led to the penalty, and we haven't mentioned the play that led to Martial's goal. Those were team goals. Those were goals on transition. Those are the type of goals where the manager say, okay, people tend to say, okay, we don't play a lot of team goal, but those are the transitional type of play we play that would say it's team goal, right? But we haven't spoken about them. If you notice, we haven't spoken about them. It's this one, because these are the goals. These are the kind of goals that will stay in your lips for a long, long time.
Exactly. And not only that, but we have the actual bragging rights show tomorrow night. As tomorrow night is the end of the PL weekend, bro. So I was saving it for tomorrow.
After the Wolves game,
yeah.
Let me
after the
let
Wolves
me see
game,
if I
we're
could
going to be
share my
live tomorrow
screen.
night, guys, at 10 p.m. UK time.
Before we round up the show, let me see if I could share my screen and let me get your comments and maybe get those in the viewers, the live chat. Let me hear what they have to say as touching this quote. Let me see. It's not this one. Where is it? Here's my. Let me see. I think it's this one. Oh no.
Found it.
1 second, okay.
Yeah. So I'll just talk about this really
It has
quickly.
to do with what's his name? Go ahead.
Yeah. So while Drex looks for that, I'm going to talk about this goal, guys.
Go ahead.
Look at it. It's like a mirror image of Cristiano Ronaldo from 1-7 to the next 7. You know what I mean? So, guys, the number 17 now and our number 7 back then. These kind of things are the things that, players have once in a lifetime. You know what I mean? Once in a lifetime.
Okay, sorry to... Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. once in a lifetime goals that some players might even be wonder players throughout their careers that never have a moment like that. And for the young Garnacho to have such a moment, hats off to him. Congratulations to him. Big goal for United. 3 points, guys, and we move.
Okay, I'm gonna before we round up the show, what do you make of this comment from Cafu?
I'm afraid Cafu comments and says, I'm afraid the more we have Brazilians moving to the Premier League, the fewer chances for Brazil to win the World Cup. Imagine being brainwashed by the media every week that you are the best in the world. Meanwhile, you are not near the best. I prefer La Liga because they have a high mentality to reach finals and win them. In La Liga, they don't have a mouth in front of TV cameras telling lies about Spanish players or hyping them to the world. They speak football, they're not a myth. I kind of agree with what he says because, I think it's a problem that most English fans suffer from. They hype players so much. I think they get to a point where they overhype them. And then when you get to a point, it's like these players next season, they don't do the same thing they had this season, They find excuses to say, well, okay, they will do better. And then they might end up in a cycle where they're not as consistent. I think these players need to be kept their feet on the ground. That was a great goal. But we're not going to give him a legendary salary just yet, just because of that. You know what I mean? It was Rooney-esque, to be fair. More like Ronaldo, to be fair. You know what I mean? He even popped the Sue right after. GB, big up to you, my bro. Thanks for getting in here, Georgie. You know what I mean? Luan is always in here, guy. And it was Rooney-esque, more Ronaldo-like, in my honest opinion, because Ronaldo is his GOAT, just like he's mine. And I'm pretty sure that Ronaldo's standards, what he brought to the club, and the few younger players who took to his words, you would see them performing now, like Kobe Mainoo, like young Garnacho. You know what I mean? He's even wearing the boot that Ronaldo gave him when he scored that goal, if you look at it properly. So just to say this, guys, you know what I mean? The future is bright for Manchester United. I know we're going through a rough patch right now, but it's getting there. And as you can see, the team has been showing weeks ago. Every game, they're creating more and more chances. And today, they finally scored a lot more goals than those chances that they created. And it's good to see a strong performance by the lads away at Everton, which is always a tough ground for any team to go on, especially when Everton has been in form. And, we move on. Wednesday night,
because
we're going to have the Champions League. We're going to face Galatasaray. We will be here.
Saying that, and people were telling us how, like, oh, you're getting... Yeah. People were saying how giddy we're getting giddy that we're dealing with, what's his name? We're dealing with Everton. But they forget that right before the build up to this game, a lot of people said, oh, United are going to get stung because Everton will be these, they'll be very angry of the 10-point deduction. They have been on some run of form, and which was true because Everton has been on good form. They've won 3 in the last 5, I believe. And with the deduction and all of that, that's an extra motivation for them. So to go there and get 3 goals and get all 3 points without conceding, it's not something we should be taking lightly at all. It's something that every Manchester United fan, for those that haven't supported the manager yet and those that support the manager, to take on and be like, okay, yes, we got the 3 point, bam, that in the bag. What's next? Galatasaray is next. That's it. That's how I see it.
And we will end on that notion, my bro. And, GB, I know you got in late, bro. Thanks for joining us, man. You always here to support us.
GB.
Luan France, you are like that Sue celebration for us. We love you lots because you're always here celebrating for us. I think I made you a mod on the channel, yeah. So, yeah, you know what I mean? Hats off to you for always showing up and giving us some love, Luan. Always paying attention with us. Thanks to my mom and my aunt who were in the chat today. Say hello. Big up to my bro Drex who has come in and gave it us raw. You know what I mean? We're all happy because we're all United fans, just as much as we're all happy to see good football this weekend as football fans. And it was a very good show from the United boys away. I think the away fans deserve something like that after all the games they've seen this season. And hopefully the home fans will be next. You know what I mean? when we
Yeah,
face. But
yeah.
you know, we're gonna be away again. The away fans, you know, I think you guys gonna get a good run of a few games because we're away at Galatasaray. We're away to Newcastle on Saturday, bro.
GB doing some jump.
GB, you made me
GB.
forget what I was about to say, bro. Oh my gosh. Get in, GB. Yo, bro, I know you're a closet Caribbean man, bro. I know you should be in the Caribbean. I know it, GB. But you know
Big
what?
up,
I'm an
GB.
Italian
Big up.
fan, bro, and you're an Italian, bro. So you know we get along really well, bro. You know what I'm
Big
saying?
up. Big up. Big up.
And
Big
I'll
up.
say this.
Bestie.
The away fans enjoy the run because I think the United boys are gonna make it better. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna keep
Yeah.
this form. That game definitely would spur the guys on. You know, Marcus Rashford got a goal even though it was a penalty,
Yeah. Oh,
and
we didn't even
you
talk.
know
See, let's
the
just give
penalty
20. Let's
was
just do 30 seconds on that. That goal before Marcus, before when the penalty was given, I was already ahead of you guys in terms of the viewing, right? I was screaming. Like, give it to Marcus. Give it to Marcus. Give it to. Don't let Bruno take it. And it wasn't my surprise. I just felt like maybe some Bruno just go ahead, do your thing, and it was a good penalty. Put it top corner. If the goalkeeper is going to go in the same direction as the ball, make him walk for it if he has anything to do to save that ball, and it was a good goal. And once he scored that goal, I think his confidence meter just moved from 0 to about 3. So we'll see. Let's see what the Galatasaray game has to offer. Then, yeah, maybe Marcus Rashford might just be on his way back. No one can. You never can tell.
yeah.
So on that
I
note,
hope
guys,
so for him. You know,
don't forget to join us tomorrow when we do the slating. We're gonna be getting.
right,
We
bragging
might be
rights. You know,
getting
we're
top.
gonna feature a few
Yeah,
rival fans. Poch FC is gonna get in here. I think I'm gonna get Manch to come through. I'm gonna get an Arsenal fan in here. You know, it's gonna
we
have.
might
I'm
we
probably
might
gonna get
pull
a
up. We
Tottenham
might
fan,
pull up.
and I'm
Yeah, we
hoping
might pull
to
up
get Chelsea Dan for a few
Luen
moments.
should come true.
Luan, yeah,
Yeah,
you should
Luen might
definitely
come
come
true.
through and say a bit tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because it's bragging rights, and you know you have a lot to brag about. Your boys scored today, both of them, so it's going to be a good
Yeah,
one. Martial had a great goal. You know what I mean? All in all, great weekend from you know the United faithful. Everyone has to be proud of the performance of the boys. Even Bruno has a great gesture to give Marcus Rashford that penalty. You know, to get him back on track. I think it was amazing by the team captain who had a silently good performance. You know what I mean? He didn't show up as being wasteful or being too Hollywood pass like today. So everyone missed him on the field, getting in, you know, the little short passes and working the ball and working hard behind the scenes. And just like us working hard behind the scenes, guys, we're going to be here for bragging rights tomorrow at 10 p.m. UK time. Guys, this has been your reaction to the weekend by your boys, Drex, Captain
big
Drex
up,
as he's known,
big
and
up.
me, MarkN, or United Marks as I'm known. And you can find us both on our channels. Captain Drex is on DHub Sports, or you could find me here at you on MUFC Realist TV, guys. So stay tuned, come back, speak your views in the comments, leave your questions, like, share, and subscribe, guys. And yo, I'm on the road to 50 subscribers, which is really good for me. You know what I mean? Hopefully get to be on the road to 100 soon. And guys, thank you so much for taking the time out to join our streams and comment. You know, and do go on to Drex's channel, give him a like, share, and a subscribe as well. You know, this helps us a lot. You know, the money doesn't really do much, but the likes get us to the algorithm and gets us all around for everyone to look at us and choose to subscribe as well and join the community and make it bigger. And let's have a lot of fans in here with a lot of conversation and a lot of different opinions. Because you know what? Differences make it better. There's a lot of diversity and difference.
Yep,
And guys,
yep,
just like the
yep,
United
yep.
fan base, let's grow organically and build a new history. Ten Hag in for me, and all those who don't fancy Ten Hag, you will eventually by the end of the season. Trust
Oh,
me,
you
I can
will.
see what's
Oh
coming.
yes.
Guys,
Oh yes.
thank you so much. Drex, put your channel in the chat. Guys, check out our new outro. Tell us what you think after the end of the video. Please comment on the outro. Have a good night. This has been us to you from Elite Footy Talks TV, Drex and United Marks, here every Sunday.
Yes.